Hi everyone, I'm Sean Tinnion. I'm a film and TV music composer and music producer based in Australia. Just to give you a bit of a background on myself, I started playing piano when I was 4, all because my granddad introduced me to the piano, so music's been a very big part of my life from a very young age. And right the way through my young years and into my early teens, I grew up listening to a lot of film scores from the likes of James Horner, Thomas Newman, Alan Silvestri, just to name a few. And it was sort of around the age of 12 that me and my family moved from the UK to here in Australia. So I've been here for about 20 years now, and it was when I arrived in Australia is when I started to come up with my own themes and melodies and really started to get into composing. And this is when I started to pick a lot of my favourite films, and I would start muting scenes and writing my own versions of scores to these scenes. So it was sort of around then that my interest in film scores really developed, even though I've been listening to them for years. So I went ahead and completed high school. I started university in 2010, finishing in 2014, and it was during my time there that I was able to really have a lot of opportunity to score actual short films from a lot of the Screen Academy students that were studying there. So it was during my years at uni that I was really able to hone in on my craft, find my style, and have the opportunity to score actual films and not just muting scenes from films that were already around. So I completed university in 2014, and it took me a good couple of years to break into the industry, and luckily enough I was able to get my first television documentary gig in 2016, and I've been working professionally in the industry ever since. And as you can see, I've built up a lot of my studio over that time. And my newest addition to the studio is the Meze Audio Elite headphones. I've been trying the Elite headphones now for just over a week, and I am pretty blown away by how good they sound, the quality, the comfort. And that was the first thing that stood out for me, was the comfort. They just sit really well on my head, they're really comfortable around my ears. And that's something that I've always found a problem with studio headphones, is after a while of wearing them, my ears tend to get very hot, it gets a bit uncomfortable, the headphones feel very, very heavy and a bit tight on my head, even after adjusting them. These ones from Meze Audio, it was just instant comfort, and I've trialed wearing them for long periods of time, hours of producing music, and even after a couple of hours of wearing them, I am glad to say that they're still very, very comfortable on my head. And it's almost like I'm not wearing headphones half the time. I sort of forget that they're there, and it allows me to really get into my creative zone, whereas other headphones that I've tried, I've been quite uncomfortable, and it's sort of messed with my creative flow, and I've had to take them off and go back to using my speakers. So I really like that I was able to forget that I was wearing headphones just because of how comfortable they were, which I suppose if you're working in the studio for long periods of time and you want to use a pair of good headphones to reference different mixes and different tracks that you're working on, you definitely want a pair of headphones that are going to be comfortable for long periods of time and don't interfere with that creative flow. And it's not just film and TV scores that I'm doing. I'm always working on singles and albums and putting them out there onto all the major streaming stores and collaborating with different musicians around the world. So it's really good to have an amazing pair of headphones like these Elite headphones as another reference point, because I'm sure every musician and composer and music producer can relate to this, but I'm always looking for another sound system to mix and master my tracks on. I'll go out and use a car stereo, I'll use my my earpods, I'll go and listen to it on the TV soundbar and use the subwoofer for that. I'll go and use another person's car stereo. The more I can have, the better, and these Elite headphones are just a fantastic addition to my studio. And I also really like that they came in their own really high quality case, which is going to be really, really great for when I travel. And just the headphones themselves, I just love how light they are, how Easy they are to adjust, depending on how high and low that you want them on your head. The sound quality on these things is just mind-blowing. A lot of headphones that I've tried, I feel like the headphones sort of mask the true sound or sort of muffle the sound a bit. I really felt like I was getting the truest sound possible with these headphones, which gave me a lot more confidence with mixing my music.